Hey, hello everybody, this is Captain Dazzle. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn how to do some balloon sculpturing. And this is going to be the first lesson, so let's go through some basics. These balloons here are called 260 balloons. So for most of the balloon sculptures that we are going to make use of these type of balloons. I'm going to show you how to inflate as well as to tie the balloon. I've got a hand pump over here. This is a two-way hand pump, which means to say the air comes out when I push the nozzle in as well as when I push the nozzle out. Ta-da! This is how we inflate balloons. Now, how do we measure the balloons? We would measure the balloons, alright, from this part. We are going to call this part the tail. Alright, now for balloon sculptures, usually we will measure them in inches, the part of the tail, and this one is exactly 6.5 inches. Alright, so a ruler will be useful when you are just starting out learning how to do balloons. Now, here is the secret about doing balloon sculptures. Why is it that when balloon sculptors or clowns or magicians, when they twist the balloon does not go pop? What's the secret? The secret lies in this portion. Now, I'm going to just make a few twists over here. And you can now visibly see that the tail is much shorter than when we first started. Alright, I'm going to release those twists. Ta-da! And it's now back to 6.5 inches. So that's the secret. As the clown or the balloon sculptor makes the sculpture, the air continues to move down the tail part of the balloon. And which means, when you are starting out learning how to do balloon sculptures, and when you can see that all the air has traveled to the end of the tail and there's no more space at the tail for the air to travel down, please do not continue to twist, because any more twist is going to add more pressure on the balloon and the balloon will eventually pop because there's no space for the air to travel down. Okay, now so this is the balloon and I've already tied the knot. You can, if you rewind back to the front of the video, you can see that I did it very fast. So I'm going to teach you the secret on how to tie the knot. Now, there are many different types of methods to tie the knot, and if you go online and if you Google balloon sculpturing knots, you'll be able to find all the different techniques and methods to do it. Just choose your own favorite method. In fact, if you already know how to tie a balloon, right, without following any of the newer methods, that's fine. If you like your own method, please go ahead and use it. But just for some of the viewers out here who has just started on learning how to tie as well as make balloons, I'm going to show you my method. It is also known as the T. Myers method. Now, it is going to be very hard to tie the balloon if this end, alright, just imagine it like a piece of rope. It's going to be very hard to tie a knot in a rope if the rope is very short, like this. Yes? It's going to be much easier if the tail is much longer. This part is much longer. How do we make this part longer? All I have to do is just release some air from the front. Ta-da! I'm going to exaggerate a little bit more. Alright, and now you can see that it's very much longer than before I released the air. Yes? Now, when you release the air, to acquire the longer length to tie the knot, you have to release it from the front. This is the tail part of the balloon, alright? You do not want a case where you are releasing the air. You can see that air is coming out, but there is no corresponding increase in the length that you want to tie the knot, alright? What you want to do is release the air from around this part, alright? So it gets longer. Okay, now let's add a bit more air into the balloon. Just one last tip. As you proceed to watch the other upcoming videos on how to do specific designs or balloon sculptures, all right, you will be, when we first start out, all right, when I mentioned that the tail is going to be, in this case, about 6 inches, all right, the knot is already tied. All right, so before you start making the sculpture, all right, when I mentioned, please prepare a balloon with a 6-inch tail, all right, the assumption is that the knot is already tied. Okay, so here is, so here's the balloon. I'm going to show you 3 very basic twists that will help you to make a variety of many different designs. These are the 3 basic ones. Before I teach you these 3 basic twists, right, I'm going to teach you 2 very important rules about balloon sculpturing. These are the basics, so you do have to keep them in mind. The first one is always twist in the same direction. Now, looking at the front of the balloon, all right, imagine that it's a clock. I'm going to add a twist here. Now, if I'm looking at it head on, like this, all right, I can see that I'm twisting this part of the balloon in a clockwise direction, while the back part, all right, this portion over here, the longer one, is being twisted in a anti-clockwise direction. Right? So always twist in the same direction. If the one that is in the front is being twisted in the clockwise direction and the back is being twisted in the anti-clockwise direction, please make sure you use this direction for all the rest of the balloon sculpture. In fact, for all the balloon sculptures that you're going to make. Make it a habit. If you prefer to twist it in the anti-clockwise direction when you're looking at the balloon head on, alright, that's fine as well. Just make sure that you use the same direction for the rest of your balloons. Now, so that is the first rule. The second rule is always hold the first and the last bubble. What do I mean by that? I'm going to make a chain of bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can you see that I'm always twisting in the same direction in order to form all the bubbles? Now this is in line with the first rule I taught you guys earlier. Always twist in the same direction. Now, the next rule now comes into place. Can you see that I'm holding the first bubble? Which one is the first bubble? This is the first bubble. We will always measure the bubbles from the front. The front is the one that has got a knot on it. This is the first bubble, and I'm holding on to the last bubble. Now, this is not the last bubble. This one over here, that's not the last bubble. This one is the last bubble. Now remember, as long as you are holding on to the first bubble and the last bubble, all the other bubbles in the middle, they will not unravel. That's a very big secret. I hope you guys get it. I've only made a chain of about 5 bubbles here. Watch. I'm just going to be able to add on more bubbles. Now, did you notice that as I'm twisting, I'm not just making like a single twist, I'm turning it a few times. Alright, about 3 revolutions. Alright, 3 times 360 revolutions. So look, ta-da! Once again, I'm holding on to the first bubble, I'm holding on to the last bubble. And all the bubbles in the middle, they will stay in their positions and in their place. Got it? Always hold the first and last bubble. This is called the bubble twist, by the way. Yes, because there's so many bubbles over here. It's a chain of bubbles. So now, I'm going to release all the bubbles. Woohoo. Now, when you're first starting out making balloon sculptures, balloons will burst. That's because for every twist that you make in the balloon, you are actually applying some tension and friction onto the surface of the balloons. And if you're going to unravel them and twist them again, and you're going to untwist and then twist them again, the walls of the balloons will become weaker and they might burst. Alright, so don't worry about it. Alright, now, so I'm going to show you a very simple bubble twist. Earlier we made a whole chain of bubbles. Alright, that might be a bit too difficult for you guys who are just starting out. So let's start to learn how to do the basics, the basic bubble twist. Now, the first design that we're going to learn how to make is going to be called the basic balloon dog. Alright, that's what is most popular and it's one of the easiest designs. So you will need to learn how to do the bubble twist in order to learn how to make a balloon dog. So now, proportions are very important in balloon sculpturing. Right, we're going to mention this again in the next video about the when I teach you how to make a balloon dog. So now let's just go right in and let's make one, at least the first part of the dog. So now I'm going to measure a head over here. Yes, so I'm going to add a twist. You can see a joint over here. Right? I'm going to measure out a pair of ears. So, and I want the ears to be a little bit smaller than the head. So I'm going to make one bubble. It's going to be the ear. I want a pair of ears, so I'm going to make another bubble that is of the same size as the second bubble. Now, just to rehash, can you see that I'm holding on to the first and the last bubble? Yes? Right, good. So this is called the bubble twist. Now, as you already know, if I let go of this hand here, or if I let go of this grip over here, alright, all the balloons will unravel. Now, can you see that for the first bubble, I'm gripping it with my index and my middle finger? I call this the Captain Dazzle grip. But it's pretty useful when you're first starting out to learn how to do balloons, because if you're using this grip, this allows you to still have 3 more fingers to use, which also includes your thumb, which is a very important part of your hand. Alright, so you've got 2 fingers and then you've got a thumb. All I'm doing for this grip is just simply gripping it like this. It's like rock, scissors, paper. So just grip it like that. This is called the bubble twist. Now, how do we lock all the bubbles together? We're now going to learn how to do the lock twist. Alright, that's exactly what it means. You're going to lock. Once this twist is done, it's going to lock all the bubbles in place. Now, watch very carefully. Now, this is the doggy's head, so I'm just going to bring it down to the last bubble, which is the big one here. Alright, now you can see we have got one joint here and another joint over here. I'm going to do the lock twist. I'm going to grip the 2 ears and I'm going to twist it. It's going to lock these 2 bubbles, the 2 ears, in place. Now that was just half a twist, so I want to add in a few more twists, a few more revolutions. Alright, about 2 times. 2 complete revolutions. And now, ta-da! Now, I do know it's going to be a little bit difficult to watch the video and do the twist at the same time, but don't worry, thanks to the magic of YouTube and videos, all you have to do is just rewind back the portion that you want to rewatch and you can get to relearn and rewatch the segment that you really need. So that's done, and this is called the lock twist. Alright, I'm going to take a little risk and I'm going to untwist this one, untwist this again, to show it to you one more time. Doggy's head and the rest of the balloon. I'll bring the head down. I'll try to bring these 2 joints over here, this one and this one, as close as possible to each other, and I'll add in the twist, the lock twist. And see, I'm twisting it a few times. Ta-da! And it is done. Alright, now so make sure you watch the next upcoming video. That's gonna be there are gonna be more details on the balloon dog and how we're gonna use the design to make other animals such as the giraffe and the rabbit, which is all based on the simple dog design. Now I'm gonna show you another twist. This is going to be called the full twist or the loop twist. We've got the doggy's head and the doggy's ears. I'm going to use the full twist, or otherwise known as the loop twist, to make the doggy's legs. Watch. Now, sometimes here's a big tip from a professional balloon sculptor like me. When the balloon feels very full, right? And you do know that you have got quite a bit of space left in the tail, which is the uninflated part of the balloon. what you can do is that you can gently squeeze and press on the balloon to allow the air to travel down. This way there is less pressure on the walls of the balloons and it is less likely that the balloon will break. Now, this may not be true in your country, alright, but here in Singapore, because of the weather and the humidity, alright, we do need to do that sometimes. For this sculpture right here, I do feel that the balloons are a little bit full. There's a bit too much air inside. So what I'm going to do is just simply press the air. Now I want you to watch over here. Can you see that air is traveling down? Yes. Now, and this part is now, there's less pressure on the walls of the balloon. So now here is the full twist. Are you ready? Now I'm going to bring this down right over here, the head and the ears of the doggy. I'm going to hold this with my left hand. Now I'm right-handed. The right hand is my master hand, my master arm. So I will do the twist with my master arm, like this. If you are left-handed, of course, you're going to, the whole situation will be reversed. Alright, are you ready? Here is the full twist. I'm going to twist it one more time. Ta-da! And so now we have acquired a bubble that looks like this. It's a loop, and it's called a loop twist. Now, now that you've seen how it looks, okay, before the balloon unravels, I'm going to add in a few more revolutions to lock it in place. Okay, so now I'm just going to adjust it right over here. Now, just like the bubble twist, where you are making the lock twist, or the full twist, always twist in the same direction. Alright, in this case, for me, I'm always twisting it in the clockwise direction when looking at the balloon head on. Ta-da! So if you observe very carefully, the loop twist looks different from the lock twist, and the bubble twist. So all these different loops, how different each loop looks, will help you to create sculptures when you start learning the more difficult ones. Alright, so now we've got a pair of legs over here. Yeah. So now I'm just going to demonstrate one more full twist for you. Now, so once again, I've already made a body for the doggy. I'm going to bring it down. Can you see the loop over here? The loop, so I'm going to make a loop twist. Once again, I'm twisting it a few more times. Ta-da! And it's done. Your first balloon sculpture. So this is the full twist. Okay? Ooh! It's got a poodle pop tail. Right, if you're interested to learn how to do a doggy, as well as the full instructions on how to do a doggy, that's right, as well as how to make a rabbit, as well as a giraffe, as well as learning how to make the poodle pop, make sure, alright, you subscribe to the channel, alright, and we're going to have more upcoming videos up, and I'm going to teach you how to do all these balloon sculptures. Thank you very much. I hope to see you on the next video.